Introduction. Min Yoongi, the cold professor of Jace University, married with Min Jimin for past 6 months. It was arranged marriage, but later they both fell in love. Jimin is a final year student, a little weak in studies. Yoongi is his math professor. He doesn't like when students score less in his subject, mostly Jimin. Let's see what happened at the Min house. In living room, Yoongi was in the kitchen making breakfast for his little husband, who was running here and there searching for his things. Yon, where is my book? And where is my assignment? He was whining. Yon, tell now, I will be late for my class. When there was no reply from his hubby, he walked inside the kitchen. Yoongi was mumbling, this boy will never change. He shook his head. In kitchen, Jimin entered inside the kitchen and saw his husband silently making breakfast for them. He walked near him and hugged him from behind. Yoongi did not react at first, as he already knew Jimin might come at any time and start buttering him. It's their daily routine now. Jimin always wakes up late and then rushes down to pack his things. Yoongi always tells him to wake up early, but will he listen to him? Nope. Jimin in his cute voice, Yoon, please help me na to find my book. But there was no reply from Yoongi. Please na Yoon hubby. Yoongi signed. Okay fine, wait a second. I'll serve this and come. Both walked out of the kitchen. He served Jimin his breakfast and started finding his book. In living room, Jimin was happily eating his breakfast, even while finding his book. How many times I told you to pack your bags at night and then sleep, but you never listened to me. Jimin was pouting. I thought I will pack it in the morning. Then you should have wake up early in the morning to pack your belongings. Yoongi shook his head when he found the assignment book and study materials under the couch. Jimin happily, you found it, Yoon. Thank you, hubby. I don't understand what type of study you are doing that your book was under the couch. That was maybe it accidentally fell under the couch. Yeah, I know all your accidents. Jimin trying to change the topic. Let's go now because of you I will be late for class. Oh wow, see who's talking about getting late? You are the one who always makes me late. Jimin was pouting. It's not my fault, it's your duty to wake me up. So it's clearly your fault. Yoongi was shocked. Why is it my fault? When I tried to wake you up, you always tell, 5 minutes, Yoon, you are not letting your precious baby sleep. He was imitating Jimin. But you are my hubby now, so it's your duty to wake me up, feed me, and drop me on time to the university. Yoongi walked closer to Jimin and pulled him closer by his waist. Yoongi in his deep voice, baby, if I start doing my duty, then you will regret it. And as a husband, it's also my duty to see all your test papers, right? Jimin became nervous. Hubby, I did not get any test papers yet. I heard Mr. Lee was saying he will be giving you test papers today. Jimin in mind, oh god, why did I even open my mouth today? Let's go now, or you will be late. He kissed his cheek and both left to the university. In university, Yoongi dropped Jimin a little far from the university. Anyone doesn't know about their relationship other than Jimin's friends, as students and professors are not allowed to be in any type of relationship. When Jimin walked inside from the main gate, his friends were waving at him. Jimin happily ran towards them. Yoongi was smiling looking at Jimin from the car. Once Jimin was inside the university, he also left towards his staff room. Tae, while teasing him, see at your whipped husband, he always waits for you until you reach the university. Jimin blushed. Let's go, Tae, cook, we will be late for the class. Jungkook teasing him. See, someone's blushing. Jimin whining with his red cheeks. Stop teasing me, guys. Time skip in classroom. Their first lecture has started and Jimin was already drifting back to sleep. Aish, this boy, I don't know what he does at night. The lecturer started asking questions to all the students who were not paying attention in the class. Jimna, wake up. Miss Leah is looking at us. He whispered. Jimin, she. Jimin woke up with a jolt and looked at Jungkook annoyingly. Jungkook signed him to look at front, where Miss Leah was staring at him. Jimin, it's the first lecture and you're already sleeping. I'm still surprised how you reached in the third year. I don't think you will be able to pass this year if you behave like this in the class. Yoongi was passing through the corridor when he heard Miss Leah scolding Jimin. Now what did this boy do? He mumbled. Jimin was looking down when she was scolding him. Then he looked out to see Yoongi standing at the door listening to everything. Jimin in mind, oh god, why do you have to send him here when this old lady is scolding me? Jimin was pouting. He will surely scold me later. Yoongi glared at him and left towards his class. Are you even listening to me, Jimin? Why am I wasting my precious time on you? She annoyingly walked away from there and started teaching again. Time skip during the fourth hour. It was Mr. Lee's class now. All the students were scared as today they will get their test papers. I'm so excited. Finally, he got the papers. It took over a week to correct them. Jungkook and Jimin looked at him annoyed. No wonder why they call you a nerd. Yeah, I'm not a nerd, he pouted. I think I will fail again. He was really scared. But why are you scared? Yoongi won't ask you about other papers other than maths. No, from today he's going to check all my subjects. Oh shoot, you're fucked up. Just then, Mr. Lee started distributing their papers. They happily came as he got 99 out of 100. Even Jungkook was happily dancing, seeing his marks. Guys, I passed. I got 35. I'm so happy. Tae was annoyed. You just passed by 1 mark. Now it was Jimin's turn. He nervously walked towards Lee to take the paper. Mr. Lee signed while giving his paper. 10 out of 100. Really, Jimin? This is how you score in your final year? Jimin in mind. Thank God it's not zero. All the lecturers are having complaints with you. It's better to call your parents here and talk to them. But they cannot come, they are out of the town. Then tell your guardian to come here and meet us in the principal office. Jimin's eyes widened in shock. What? But sir, he cannot come here. I don't want to hear any excuses, Jimin. If your guardian doesn't come tomorrow, you can take your TC and go from here. Time skip in cafeteria. Jimin was really nervous. What should I do now? If I tell Yon about this, he will get angry on me. Then don't tell him. But if I don't get my guardian tomorrow, he told me to collect my TC. Wait, I have a plan. Mr. Lee and principal have never met your guardian, right? Jimin nodded. Jungkook whispered something in Jimin's ear. What, Cook? We cannot do that. What if we get caught? Yeah, tell me also, he said while pouting. Do you have any other plan? He asked Jimin. Jimin shook his head. They was whining. Why are you not telling me? Jimin was about to tell him, but Jungkook shushed him. Are you mad? You were going to tell this to Mr. Lee's favorite student? He will go right now and tell him everything. Tae with his pouty lips. No, I won't tell him. Jungkook kissed his pouty lips. Not going to tell you, baby. Aish, you guys. We are in university. At least don't do it here. Okay, so for tomorrow everything is set. Jimin was still scared. If Yoongi gets to know about this, he will surely kill him. In class. It was their last class now. All students were playing, shouting in the class. Just then Yoongi entered inside the class, looking at the students with his cold eyes. The class became silent and got up immediately to greet him. Yoongi in his deep voice, I have corrected your papers and don't see any improvement at all, he said, glaring at all the students. At home he is so sweet and soft with Jimin, but here no one can be spared from his hands. He took out a wooden ruler and put it beside the test papers. I will call out the name of failures and based on their marks you will get hit. He called all the failures' name and Jimin's name was also present on that list. Now it was Jimin's turn to take these papers. With shivering hand, he forwarded his hands to take the papers. Yoongi in his cold voice, what is this, Jimin? Only 15 out of 100? You will get 30 hits on your palm. Jimin was shocked. Jimin was refusing to show his hand. Jimin slowly whispered in Yoongi's ear, Yoon, my hands are already so small. It's injustice. It will hurt more, he said while pouting. Yoongi in his deep voice, 20 strokes are less for you. You are the only one who got so low marks. Others have at least scored some marks, but yours is below average. Show me your hands now, he said sternly. Yoongi pulled his hand from the back and gave him 20 strokes. Jimin has now gone back to his seat while sobbing. Both Taekuk were confronting him. Yoongi in his mind, I'm sorry baby, but I'm doing this for your better. I cannot be lenient on you anymore. It's about your future. Once the class was done, all students were gone home, as it was their last class. Now Jimin, Yoongi and Taekuk were the only one present in the class. Jimin was still in Tae's hold, crying because of the pain. Yoongi has never raised his hands on Jimin. It was the first time he punished him in the class. Yoongi walked near Jimin and tried to touch him, but Jimin pushed his hand away. Jimina, stop crying. You will feel sick. Come, let's go home, Jim. Jimin was again crying. No, I'm not coming with you. You are so bad. Yoongi tried pulling him away from Tae, but he was again pushed away. Yoongi signed Tae and Jungkook to leave. Once they were gone, Yoongi sat beside Jimin and pulled him closer. He kissed his palms. I'm sorry, baby. Did I hurt you a lot? Jimin nodded cutely while crying. I won't talk to you, he said with his angry pout. Yoongi smiles. You can be angry on me after we go home. Come, let's go now. In living room, Jimin was sitting on the couch, refusing to show his hands. Baby, please show me your hand. I need to apply ointment on it, or it will hurt more. Jimin put his hand behind his back. No, it's going to hurt. No, baby, I will apply it carefully. Please show me your hand. Jimin forwarded his hand, which was red and had marks on it. Yoongi slowly kissed his palm, not to cause him pain. I'm sorry, baby, I won't hit you again. But Jimin did not respond back and looked away. Once he was done applying the ointment, Jimin walked to their room. I made my little chick angry, but I know how to calm your anger, baby. Who also walked behind him to their shared room. In bedroom, Yoongi walked inside the room where Jimin was angrily sitting on the bed. Yoongi walked near to Jimin and sat beside him. Baby, are you still going to ignore me? You know now why I hit you. Jimin pouts. But you never hit me before. See my palms, they are swollen because of you. Yoongi pulled him closer. I'm sorry, baby, I won't do it again. Please forgive your hubby. But Jimin wanted to tease him a little more, so he acted as if he was still angry on him. I'm sleepy, please turn off the lights. Yoongi wanted to speak, but Jimin covered himself with a blanket and turned to the other side. Yoongi also tried to get inside the blanket, but Jimin pushed him away. Baby, half of the blanket is mine. I will be cold. Be happy that I let you sleep there. I know how to keep myself warm. What are you? Yoongi was now on top of Jimin. Get up, Yoon, you are squeezing me. Now it's so warm. Yoongi, get up. Yoongi, are you still going to ignore me? Jimin nodded. Okay then. Yoongi kissed his forehead, then both of his cheeks, his chin, his ears, and lastly caught his lips into a heated kiss. Are you still going to ignore me or should I do more? He said, looking at his neck. Jimin looked at him with his red cheeks. No, don't. I will not ignore you, he stuttered. Yoongi laughs. Baby, you look like a tomato. Look at your cheeks. Jimin whined and hid his face in Yoongi's neck. Yoongi smiles. Come here, my little cupcake. He pulled him closer and both slept in each other's arms. Next day in university, Yoongi dropped Jimin and went to his staff room. Tae, Jungkook and Jimin were hiding behind the wall. Once Yoongi was gone, they came out of there. Jungkook was wearing a fake mustache and a wig. Let's go, Jimin. Mr. Lee might be waiting for us. Yeah, see your mustache is falling out. I think we should not do this plan. Jungkook again fixed his mustache. See now it's proper. Let's go. In principal's office, Jimin knocked on the principal's office. When he opened the door, Mr. Lee was already present there waiting for them. Jimin entered inside with Jungkook. Good morning, sir. He is my older brother. Mr. Lee greeted Jungkook, thanking him as his older brother. Please have a seat, he told to Jimin's brother. Mr. Lee was a little bit curious. I think I have seen you somewhere. Jungkook became nervous. Is it? You might have seen me. I work here only. After 15 minutes, they were done talking and were about to go out. Just then, his mustache came out. Mr. Lee was shocked. What the hell? Jungkook, what are you doing here? Jungkook became scared. Sir, he stuttered. Principal was really angry. You are fooling us from past 15 minutes? Both boys became scared when principal started yelling at them. Principal was really angry. Jimin, where is your guardian? Sir, he stuttered. Mr. Lee, sir, don't ask him. He will again lie to us. Let's check his student file. We will get his number there. Jimin's eyes widened in shock. Sir, please don't call him. I'm sorry, please. I will study well. He was pleading as tears welled up in his eyes. Principal did not listen to him and called his guardian to his office. Jimin was standing in the corner crying his eyes out. After some time, Yoongi entered inside principal's cabin. He looked at Jimin and then walked towards the principal. What are you doing here, Mr. Min? Sir, I'm Jimin's guardian. Mr. Lee was really shocked. What? How can you be his guardian? Yoongi lied. He is one of my closest friend's son. They have gone out of town, so they told me to take care of him. Both principal and Mr. Lee nodded in believing Yoongi. Yoongi, yesterday Mr. Lee asked Jimin to come with his guardian to my office. Did he tell you about this? Yoongi glanced at Jimin, who was looking down. No, sir, I did not know about this. You know, right, Mr. Min, how low Jimin's marks are, so I told him to call his guardian. But today, when he came, he disguised Jungkook as his guardian and tried to fool us. Principal, Mr. Min, you are his guardian and also a professor. You should be more responsible on how he is doing in class. Jimin was feeling guilty when the principal was blaming Yoongi for his mistakes. I'm sorry, it will not happen again. Sir, I will take care of his studies from now, and I apologize for his mistakes. Jungkook, you will be in detention today, and for Jimin, sir, can I take him home? As his studies are my responsibility now, I should also be the one to punish him. Yes, Mr. Min, you can take him. Yoongi thanked the principal and went out angrily with Jimin following him from behind. In Yeonmin's house in the living room, Yoongi was angrily walking towards his room. Jimin ran behind Yoongi to stop him. Yoongi yanked Jimin's hand away and went upstairs. Jimin was crying looking at how angry Yoongi was right now. Jimin, while crying, I'm sorry, Yoon, please don't be angry on me. Jimin ran upstairs behind Yoongi when Yoongi was not ready to listen to him. In bedroom, Yoongi clapped his hands when Jimin entered inside the room. Are you happy now? Because of you, my teaching was questioned. Never in my life of teaching I have never been called by the to the principal's office. But today, just because of you, I had to hear this. Jimin was really guilty. Yoon, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Yoongi was really angry. He said in his stern voice, Come here. Jimin's body shivered hearing his stern voice. He slowly walked towards Yoongi with his trembling legs. Jimin was trembling in fear. I'm sorry, Yoon. Yoongi was really angry. Again saying sorry, what was the need to do all this? Did you want to embarrass me? Jimin immediately shook his head. Then why, Jimin, did I ever scold you? I have been always so lenient with you. It was my mistake that I always forgive you for all your mistakes. Yoongi held Jimin's wrist tightly. Answer me now. Why are you silent? He said in his cold voice. Yoongi, I'm sorry, he said while crying. Yoongi was really angry. Here I'm always worried for your studies and you are not even worried about your exams. Did you see your marks 15, 12 out of 100? How do you plan to pass out? When are you going to be serious? In next 2 weeks, your finals are starting. Have you already planned to fail in that too? Jimin held Yoongi's hand. Please, Yoon, from now on I will take my studies seriously. Please don't be upset with me. Yoongi pushed his hand away. Jimin, you have 2 weeks to prove yourself. If you don't pass in your finals with good marks, then I don't think our marriage will work out. What do you mean, Yoongi? He stuttered. Young in his stern voice, you very well know what I am talking about. I will stay in the guest room from now on. Come to me when you're passing your exams. Yogi did not mean to say these words to Jimin, but this was the only way Jimin would take his studies seriously. Jimin was now on the floor crying his heart out. His heart was hurting hearing Yoongi's words. Yoongi was near the door. I'm sorry, Jimin, but I'm doing this for a better future. In the next 2 weeks, Jimin studied really well. Day and night, he was only studying. Yoongi never once talked to him in these 2 weeks, but he always cared for him from far. Jimin gave all his exams. Today it was the day of his results. He was really nervous. If he failed, Yoongi would leave him, and that thought scared him the most. Now he was in the college with Tae and Jungkook. They were near the notice board. Tae's name was first on the list. He had topped in the exam. Then they checked Jungkook's, and he had also passed. Now it was Jimin's turn. Jimin was really nervous. I don't want to see. I'm scared. What if I don't get good marks? Don't worry, Jimin. You worked really hard. Don't worry. You will get good marks. Then they checked Jimin's marks. It was 75%. Jimna, you got 75%. See, I told you, right? You will get good marks. A tear escaped from his eyes. It's less for Hayu. Now he will leave me. He started crying while stuttering. Yoongi already saw Jimin's marks and he was really proud of his baby. Yoongi was standing in the corridor. He frowned when he saw Jimin's crying. What happened to him? His marks are good, then why is he crying? Jimin ran away from there while crying. Yoongi also ran behind him. Jimin was sitting in the garden. His head was down and tears were streaming in his eyes. Yoongi came there and sat beside him, Jimin. Yoongi was really worried. What happened, baby? Why are you crying? Yoongi, I'm so sorry. I again embarrassed you, right? He wiped his tears. You were right, Yoon. I don't deserve you. You should go find someone else. Before he could complete his sentence, Yoongi smashed his lips on Jimin's. Yoongi in his deep voice, why would I find someone when I have my beautiful husband with me? But my marks, I'm so proud of you. You have done so well in your exams. I'm really happy with your marks. Jimin looked down, but they are less. No, Jimin, 75% is really good marks. You used to score 12, 15. Now see how much you have improved. Jimin was pouting. Now you will not leave me, right? He asked. Yoongi kissed his forehead. Never, baby. Jimin asking cutely. Now where is my reward? Yoongi smirked. Let's go home. You will get your reward tonight. You know how long I was waiting for this? Jimin widened his eyes. What? I don't want that reward. You will love this baby boy. And you know what happened after this. They went home. The end.